Welcome back to Weekend Wallow, and this week I have Keegan from Level 2 Gaming.
Hi guys!
And also SmackersGamer is joining us all the way from the UK.
Hey!
Via the magic of the internet.
The interwebs.
And today we are going to be talking about Star Wars Episode 7.
Woo! The return of the Phantom Force Awakens.
Yeah.
Right? Nailed it.
Yes, that one.
That's what they should have called it. Yeah.
That was my favorite.
That's a lot of words in the title.
So, first off, first impressions, guys, what did you think? Just in general.
You go first, Sam. I want to hear what you thought.
Okay. I went into this film, really excited. Obviously, I've been a big Star Wars fan since I was younger, so going into the film, I had high expectations, but I was also very scared that it wouldn't meet those expectations. But when I saw it, I was pretty much on the edge of my seat the whole time.
Mm-hmm.
And I came out of the cinema just thinking, oh my god, what was this? How is that? Oh my god, my mind. There's so many theories.
So many things going on.
Yeah, and I'll be honest, I truly did enjoy it.
Yeah.
I saw quite a lot of similarities to Episode 4, but I believe that they were just paying tribute in a way.
Yeah.
But that's something that a lot of people have discussed.
Yeah. Yep. So for me, I actually had it spoiled for me. Can I say spoilers on here? I assume everybody's watching this scene. Okay, yeah. Spoilers. I was live streaming Star Wars Battlefront the day the movie came out. And I actually had the Han Solo death spoiled for me. I wasn't told how he died. I was just told he died, which I kind of half expected one of the main characters to die. I didn't think it was going to be Luke, just because the way the story has to have him to progress.
Yeah.
But I had that spoiled for me. So going in, I already knew that was going to happen. But with that being said, I was still like the movie. I'm not a huge Star Wars fan. I don't go into the expanded universe, or what used to be the expanded universe now. But I do watch all the cartoons, the Clone Wars and Rebels, because they are really great. If you guys haven't seen that, go check that out. But I love the movie overall. Like Sam said, it felt a little bit like Episode 4. Some of that's homage. Some of it, I think they had to do it that way because they had to set up this next trilogy and kind of get away from the Skywalker story. But overall, I enjoyed it. The way they did some of the cameos, I guess would be the way to call it, of the older actors, or in this case the spaceship. When the way the Millennium Falcon showed up was the coolest thing ever. I was literally said wow in the theater. So that was probably the first. When that happened, I was like, okay, this is real cool. And the fact that it was not Han flying that at the beginning, it was Rey, was even cooler. So overall, enjoyed the movie. I think I gave it an 8 out of 10 when I actually had to put a score on it, but it was good. Not perfect, but way better than the prequels.
Yeah, that's a definite.
Definitely.
What about you, Johnny?
Yeah, I liked it a lot. I actually originally didn't even plan on seeing it right away or necessarily in the theater because I thought it was
dumb.
Just yeah, apparently. I thought it was overhyped, and I was just like,
oh, it was. I mean, it was.
Well, it was, but
it actually was pretty decent.
I just was, I was skeptical with the whole Disney thing, even though I kind of thought that, given that they'd done well with the Avengers and stuff.
Yeah, I didn't even think of it as the first Disney. So one of the things I liked was the fact that J.J. Abrams brought back, I wish I could remember the dude's name, who wrote Return of the Jedi to help co-write this. And I think that helped a lot with pleasing the older Star Wars fans, in my opinion.
Yeah, I think it did real well, as far as the balance they had of the
Force?
I was going to say, somebody's going to make that joke.
Yes. But the balance they had with the new and the old,
Yes.
There was, because for me, I haven't seen, I like the original trilogy, but I haven't seen it in a long time.
I thought you were going to say you haven't seen it ever, and I was like, don't say that.
No.
Oh, God.
And I like a lot of the Star Wars stuff. I've never really gotten into the books or comic books of it or anything like that, but more so in the games, some of the Super Nintendo games that they had for
The hardest games on the
Star
planet.
Wars.
Super
Star Wars.
Yeah.
That's actually that's on PS4 now. I own it on PS4, and I realized
really?
how hard that game.
Oh,
yeah,
man.
when Battlefront came out, they released that game as well. So I have that.
This?
I have that on PS4, and it still kicks my butt to this day. I still have it on Super Nintendo as well, but it's easier to record stuff on PS4.
Yeah, yeah.
But yeah, overall, I was like really blown away. I guess maybe partly because I wasn't expecting too much.
Yeah. So here's the thought I have on all this. Like, the reason I think this movie did better than the rest. So we can all agree 4, 5, and 6 was considered the best of the the first 6 movies.
Oh, yeah.
I think episode 3 got better, but I think what it was the people who saw those original 3, then when the prequels happened, got super hyped for them, and then it didn't meet their expectations. So now this generation saw the prequels, and they're like, they're all right, but they've got that leeriness of like, I don't want to get too hyped because what if it sucks again? So I think that's part of like taming your expectations. I mean, we're all excited for it, but it's not super over the top excited. Like I think we all kind of went in with like, I hope it's good. I really want it to be good, but if it's not good, I'll try not to be disappointed attitude, I think.
Yeah. I went in like that because obviously everyone hates on the prequels, but I actually really enjoyed them personally because, I mean, like it or not, they're a part of the official Star Wars universe.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, you either don't like the direction they took it in or you do, but either way, it's still Star Wars. And as long as we get more Star Wars content, you know, yay!
Yeah, and I think part of it too is you knew how the story's going to end, so you're like, how do you get there? And like, my biggest issue with the prequels, not to stay on those too long, but my biggest issue with the prequels is I didn't feel connected to Anakin as much as I did. So Kylo Ren in this movie would have been the perfect Anakin in the first 3. Because I felt more connected to Kylo Ren. I didn't like him at first because my initial thought was, oh crap, it's another Anakin, like another guy's just gonna lash out for no reason. But by the end of this movie, I kind of like, okay, I understand why he's doing it. It made sense. So that's why I'm not a huge fan of the prequels, is because the Anakin story, which is the main story you're trying to follow, is not very good.
Yeah, I didn't like Kylo Ren. Like, I liked him at first. And then he took off the mask and started talking without the mask, and was just like, who is this guy?
I love that part.
But, well, it was cool. Like, the second time I saw it, it was, like, cooler. But the first time, it was just, like, it threw you off a little bit because he was just, like, kind of awkward, geeky-looking guy, and it's just, like, you weren't expecting that.
But it humanizes him, and it makes his character, because I don't know if the listeners know, I assume they've seen the movie by now, but basically Kylo Ren is trying to become what Darth Vader is, not necessarily what Anakin was, but what Darth Vader was, and is like this all-powerful being. And it's weird because like James Earl Jones played Darth Vader. Darth Vader's voice and James Earl Jones' voice in general is incredible. It's one of the reason Darth Vader did so well is because of that voice. Kylo Ren, though, on the other hand, is this really geeky, nerdy-looking dude that wants to be this powerful guy, but he can't. He doesn't know what to do, but he idolizes Vader in the control he has. So, like, I did like that contrast of, like, this evil-looking dude, but as soon as he took the mask off, it humanized him for me, saying, oh, this is actually somebody who I could relate to. Like, he has internal conflict, and you find out later on why he has internal conflict, but
yeah,
it was... I think I like that part just because I do video production and video script writing, so from a writing standpoint, that made sense to me in my head.
Oh, yeah. I liked him, like, at the point when that whole, like, dialogue on the bridge, talking with Han Solo, was just, like, intense. It was so intense. Well, and then the forest battle after that was just, like...
Oh, yeah.
Well, yeah, because you didn't know what was going to happen on that bridge, did you? Just like, yeah, is he going to the good side or what?
Well, if I didn't have the Han Solo dies part spoiled for me, I wouldn't have known. Obviously, I knew because going in, somebody told me. But yeah, that even knowing, I was still in that movie theater thinking this can't be it. Like, this won't be it. They won't do it this way. Like, but you kind of felt because it reminded me a lot of Empire Strikes Back with the Luke and Vader scene where they're out on that catwalk.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So yeah. I had that feeling from it, and the fact that Chewie was there to see it. Oh my god, I feel so bad for Chewie. I mean,
I know that's the worst bit.
The similarities to the part with Luke and Vader made me wonder, like, Okay, that's one of the questions I wanted to bring up. Do you think Han is really dead, or do you think they're going to somehow have something happen that we didn't see in this movie to where he comes back in the future movies?
Oh, there's no way he survived that. I mean, he got jabbed through the abdomen.
Yeah, versus like falling off and like Boba Fett. If Boba Fett's still alive, you didn't actually see him die because he went to Sarlacc pit and
Yeah.
the panned off him. There's always that chance, but this, he had a lightsaber through him. That was
Yeah,
it.
exactly. So you saw like the finishing blow, and you saw him fall as well. So if like Boba Fett, you just saw him fall, then you'd think maybe there's a chance. But because I mean, when Luke fell in that battle with Vader, he got sucked into the like the tube thing,
Mhm.
and he
they
obviously
showed
survived.
that. Yeah, and they showed
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, but I'm thinking because they're obviously trying to add a lot of mystery to this film and to these next 3 films, that they maybe they didn't show what happened to him on purpose if he's still alive, to make the fans think, is he still alive? But then it's contrasted by the fact that you saw him get stabbed in the whatever by the lightsaber. So it's like, you know, you're thinking, can he be alive because they've not shown it? Could it be a mystery along with all the other theories, or is he actually dead and that's that?
I think the character Han Solo will come back. I don't think he's alive though. I think he'll come back as a flashback. This Kylo Ren situation, the fact that Kylo Ren is Han's son, the point of that right there was Kylo Ren fully turning to the dark side and saying, hey, yes, I'm going to do this. Like, I want to do this. Unlike Vader with Luke turning back. It's the opposite of that. And
Yeah.
I think this will conflict Kylo Ren however many movies. I don't know if he's in all 3 or not. He's obviously going to be the next one because he's still around. But I think this will be the thing that continuously conflicts internally, and I think you'll hear Harrison Ford, Han Solo's voice in his head over and over. And I personally think, this is a theory I have, is that Leia will meet up with Kylo at some point, and she will be the one that brings him back over. Because the only reason Han Solo was out there was because of Leia. Leia told him, hey, if you see our son, bring him back home. So it's all Leia's fault in the end.
It's her fault he died.
It's her fault. So that's my theory on because again, spoiler, it's been confirmed that Harrison Ford is coming back for episode 8 in some sort of capacity, but that doesn't mean it's not a flashback or
Yeah.
they like to do those ghost Jedi, but even though he's not a Jedi.
Yeah, I could see that, or like kind of like a hallucination or nightmare sequence type thing.
Yeah, like with Anakin when he sees his parent. No, is it when he sees Padme die? That kind of thing. Because Harrison Ford is confirmed, I believe.
Yeah.
Who knows? It's really interesting, though. You knew they had to kill, and I think part of it's because Harrison Ford's getting old. I mean, they all are. But I feel like he didn't do. This was Han Solo's movie, and obviously the next. What is it? What's the next one? Rogue something. I can't think of the name of it.
Rogue One.
Rogue One. That's a Han Solo story. So I think that's kind of why this went on this way. So the next movie will be Han's story, so you get the backstory. But I think his character is done.
Rogue One's not in. That's not a Han Solo story.
Is it not?
No. That's a spin-off about between episodes 3 and 4. I hear characters we've not seen before basically go and try and get the Death Star plans from the Empire. Han Solo is getting his own spin-off movie done.
That's what I
when
heard.
he was younger.
That's what.
Yeah.
Okay, I knew there was something. I was wrong, kind of.
Oh, Keegan.
I didn't fact check
dare
myself.
you.
I got Google right in front of me too. I could actually Google.
Yeah. Well, they're also doing a Boba Fett spin-off movie in 2020. Apparently, I don't know if that'll be after he was in Sarlacc pit or before.
You know what's gonna suck is the Boba Fett. Well, I guess it wouldn't be the same guy in the suit. Doesn't matter who's in the suit. But that guy that actor just passed away not too long ago, which
That's true.
kind of sucks. But
Yeah.
I mean, Darth Vader wasn't the same guy in Episode 3. Fun fact: Darth Vader is actually 3 inches shorter in the prequels than he was in the original trilogy because it was Hayden Christensen inside the costume. So a little fun fact for you guys there.
I thought he looked shorter.
You can't tell on screen, but he actually is shorter.
You know where he's even shorter is in Spaceballs.
Yeah, dark helmet.
You know who's even shorter than Dark Helmet?
Yeah,
Yogurt.
yogurt.
Oh, God.
May the Schwartz be with you.
Oh,
Use
man.
the Schwartz Lone Star.
But yeah, Spaceballs 2 has been announced. I don't know when it's coming out, but I don't know how I feel about that because it's gonna be a long time between those movies.
Yeah.
Yes.
Longer than Star Wars.
Oh, man.
The question is, what do they parody now? Do they parody the original trilogy, or do they parody the one that's going on now? Like,
Oh my god!
I
Imagine if
didn't-
they parody the prequels. They have so much to use.
Jar Jar Binks.
Oh god.
Oh, that would be so. I could see that.
It sucks though because the guy who played oh god, what was Lone Star's like Chewbacca companion? What was his name?
Big Chewbacca noise is why you find it.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I can Google it. I've got Google.
Yeah, Google it.
Technology.
Spaceballs characters.
Barf?
God, what was his name?
Barf,
Yeah, Barf.
yes.
Yeah, Barf. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, John Candy, the guy who played Barf, he has passed away as well quite a while ago, I think. So
Yeah.
I don't know what they're going to do with that. If they do a sequel.
I don't know if it's actually a sequel or not. They just said new Spaceballs movies. I haven't actually read up on it, but if they did the prequels, they could because Chewbacca is not in the prequels very much.
Yeah.
So it'd be interesting.
Yeah.
My favorite
That is certainly
part of Spaceballs is when they're on the ship and everybody the a-hole.
Oh yeah,
a-holes
yeah.
we got working on this ship.
Everyone stands up. So we're surrounded by a-holes.
I told Josh before we started recording, I go, we'll go to some tangent at some point.
Yeah, oh yeah.
There's your
I was
tangent.
gonna say, here it is.
Yeah.
Spaceballs.
But I was gonna say we should get back to Star Wars.
Yeah.
I was gonna say about the Han Solo bridge scene. A lot of people are like conflicted in their minds as to why Kylo Ren did what he did, because I know he was like, it showed a scene beforehand where it's like he was with Darth Vader's helmet and he was saying like, "Grandfather, I can feel the pull to the light again," and that was as Han Solo was kind of closing in, and he was getting closer. So it's like maybe the force of Han Solo being his father and all that, and he was like coming closer was like, "Oh, I can feel the light." But that might have been like, I can feel the light coming closer in Han Solo, and it's kind of making my mind think I should go back to the light. So maybe him saying to Han Solo like, "Will you help me?" and Han Solo saying anything, stabbing him through, stabbing Han Solo was like the way to eliminate the light that was conflicting in his mind.
I agree 100% with you. That was him kind of saying, you know what, I'm going to take my fate in my own hands and I'm just going to run with this and make this decision. And I don't think this is the big decision of the whole new trilogy, but I think for this movie, I think this was one of the biggest decisions, obviously, that everybody's talking about because it's one of the main plot points and a character guide. So there's that. And
it's also the basically Kylo Ren's biggest like, oh, I'm definitely a dark side. I'm definitely on the dark side. That was his final like.
Yeah.
You can't go back from that.
What are your guys' theories on who Snoke is? Because Snoke to me is this really interesting character. They came out and said he's not Darth Plagueis, which I don't know if I want to believe that or not. But because my theory on it, so here's my theory on this whole thing is the Darth Plagueis thing would make sense because he would understand what happened in the original trilogy. So he's been pulling strings this whole time. So it's even like in the original trilogy, you had Vader, you had the Emperor, and that was it. The Emperor was like this all overseeing being. I think Plagueis is another step up from that and actually knows the past and knows what's going on with all these characters, which is why he's pulling these strings. And I think, honestly, he's using Kylo Ren to get to Rey.
Yeah.
I think that's what's happening here, in my opinion. But I'm not 100% sure. So that's my guess. I think Kylo Ren is being used to get Rey because of the Force thing.
Yeah.
So that's my guess on here. Because Rey's an interesting character, but I could go on hours talking about her. I think Kylo Ren is just a tool in all this, which sounds real bad because he's a real cool character, but he's just a tool for Snoke to use.
Yeah, I don't know, like, I'm not that deep into the lore and, like, who's who of the previous...
Darth Plagueis is actually canon because he was mentioned in the original, not the original trilogy, in the prequels, because Anakin and Palpatine talk about Plagueis being killed by his apprentice. So Palpatine killed his master, who was Darth Plagueis, but the theory is Plagueis was one of the few Sith who could get around death, pretty much. So did he actually kill him? Is that... Because the scar... I saw a picture yesterday of how close the scars are between Vader and Snoke. And that, to me, is a sense of like what the lightning does to you that Palpatine has, because he's known for his lightning attack. So that would make sense with the scarring. It could be just a coincidence, but that kind of helped me support that theory. But we'll see. Snoke is an interesting character. I don't like that he was 50 feet tall when he first showed up, though. That threw me off. I did not like that.
Yeah, but that'll just be a hologram, won't it? That won't be his actual size. So that threw me off a bit as well.
Well, I think they do that to kind of show his power, but even at that, it just...
Oh, this is quite interesting. I've just read up. Apparently, in the recent release of Star Wars Visual Dictionary that arrived along with the sequel last month, it says that Kylo Ren can use both the light and the dark side of the Force, and Snoke's interested in that power. Now, that does seem to kind of mirror the relationship between Palpatine and Plagueis.
Mm-hmm.
It sounds like how he described Plagueis, who could use both the light and the dark. And this Snoke is very interested in Kylo's ability to do a similar thing, which kind of points, again, to possibly him being Darth Plagueis. But then again, Andy Serkis did seem to say that he's not Darth Plagueis.
Yeah, I remember reading something where it was pretty much like, no. I think he said something like it's a new character somebody we've heard a scene from before from the expanded universe, but it's not that exact character.
Yeah.
Or something like that. I can't remember what it exactly said.
Yeah, well, I'm looking at it now. It says Andy Serkis said that he's a new character. But that can be taken in two ways. Now, how I see it is it could be taken in, he's not Plagueis, he could just be a brand new character, blah, blah, blah. Or he could have meant the actual movies. He's a new character in the movies. He's never appeared before.
He's new. He's a new character in canon, not in the expanded, because the expanded universe doesn't exist. I mean, it exists, but according to Disney Star Wars, it does not exist anymore.
Yeah. Well, they cut out all of that to make room for this film.
Which is cool. I'm a big fan that they did that, so.
I'm not, you see.
See, I love that because it gives, as somebody who has not caught up or read on it, it makes it easier for them to write stories that don't conflict.
Yeah,
so
I suppose so.
They did it.
But then again, it's like, the expanded universe, in my opinion, is a lot more interesting than the movies. Because, like, you've got all the Old Republic stuff, you've got Darth Revan, you've got, stuff from the Knights of the Old Republic games and all that.
Yeah.
And that's all been poo-pooed now. And I really enjoyed those stories.
It's still a thing. It's still a story.
Still a story.
It's just not canon.
Yeah. Well, it just kind of ruined it for me a bit. Obviously, it's still a thing. I love the fact that there was stories that linked up to the movies.
Yeah.
And
we're gonna get those again but Disney's now in charge, so we're gonna get those through them. TV shows and all that. Yeah. I thought it was interesting that Rebels and Clone Wars were canon.
Yeah.
But it makes a little bit more sense, I guess, because Disney owns them.
And also, because Disney now own Marvel as well, there's Marvel comics of Star Wars now.
Mm-hmm.
I actually own a couple. Darth Vader and General Star Wars and Princess Leia. And also the one, The Last Padawan, based off the Rebels story. Basically, these are meant to be, I'm guessing, canon because they're from, done in the time of Disney's reign over Star Wars and Marvel. But they take place, or the ones based on the main cast, like Leia and stuff, they take place between episodes 4 and 5. Now, this was before Darth Vader knew that Luke was his son and vice versa.
Yeah.
And that was also before Luke had actually properly met Darth Vader. All he'd seen of him was when he killed Obi-Wan.
Yeah.
But what I don't get is in these stories, Darth Vader gets told by someone that Luke is his son. Now, he didn't know anything about Luke, but that reminds me, if in episode 5, Darth Vader specifically calls him Luke, and he knows of him, and Luke is like, Darth Vader, blah, blah, blah. They know each other, but they didn't show each other finding out each other who they were. But it kind of conflicts in the comics. They're like, Darth Vader finds out he's his son.
Well, Vader always knew, because at the end of episode 3, because Vader asked what happened to Padme, and he said, you killed her and the children. He assumed they were dead at that point, I'm guessing, because I don't know what the actual line is from that, but I know he asked Palpatine like what happened to Padme, and he says in your rage you killed her.
Yeah, so he might not know the kids were born. They could have been killed too. But the point I'm making is the fact that he didn't know that Luke was a Skywalker at the time, but in the comics he found out that he was. Yet, in the film, which takes place apparently after these comics, Palpatine then told him he's a Skywalker. So it's like, isn't the comics canon or what? Do you know what I mean?
Go email Kathleen Kennedy. She'll tell you. Like, Miss Kennedy, I have a question.
It's weird.
Another tangent.
Yeah, sorry.
No, that's
Star Wars tangents.
Or Force Awakens
That's how it all started.
Well, another question that I had in general, kind of stemming off of the some of what we talked about, but who was your favorite character from The Force Awakens specifically?
New, old, or does it just in general?
Just in general from that specific movie.
Oh, I love Rey. She is my background on my phone right now for 2 reasons. 1, she's a gorgeous looking woman. 2, her character is written really well. Like, I immediately wanted to know who she was. She's a badass. I have a thing for independent women. Like, I was thrilled in that this movie had a female lead and an African-American lead, because Star Wars is a very white universe in general, other than like Samuel L. Jackson as Mace Windu, canon-wise. And I thought that was real cool. And the fact that they're hinting at a love story there, which I don't know if it's actually going to come to fruition, but they were hinting at it the whole movie. But I love Rey because of her badassery and the fact that she's like a jack of all trades. She could fix the Millennium Falcon. She's a scavenger. Han Solo liked her, so that to me is a badge of something, because Solo is the greatest judge of character. But no, I think she's just a badass character. She was really well written. I can't wait to see what her story. She's the one I'm most interested in the story arc for, is her. I want them to go back and kind of say at some point what her history and past is. That's one of the things I'm very upset with this movie, is I'm like, I want to know who she is. Where did she come from? But I know they can't do that because I got to do other movies. So, but Rey was mine hands down.
All right, Sam.
I don't know. I mean, I've always had a thing for like the villain characters ever since I was a kid in anything really. Like Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, the old cartoon from the 80s. I particularly really liked Shredder and Krang more than the hero characters, for example.
Turtles.
And it's really gone from there when it comes to villains. Obviously, Darth Vader has got to be my favorite from all of Star Wars. But if we're talking Force Awakens, I don't know. I mean, he was hardly in it, but I really, really like Snoke just because of the mystery behind him. Mm-hmm. But Kylo Ren, I don't know. I think sometimes there are villains that I am a bit iffy about. Kylo Ren, unfortunately, has become one of those characters because I liked the mystery behind him, but I did think that he was a bit too Darth Vader-esque with the mask and the deep voice. And then when he took off the mask, he just seemed a lot less mysterious.
Yeah. Which I think is, I don't think Kylo is like I said, I think Kylo's being used to get to Rey. I think that's what's happening here. That's what I'm thinking is going down, and he doesn't want that to happen. So there's a scene where they're talking to Snoke after like the interrogation of Rey, and they walk in there, and Kylo's talking to him about what happened, and General Hux comes in, and you could see Kylo Ren just kind of look at him like he tried to bring his composure back, I guess is the best way to do it. Like you could tell he was flustered, but as soon as you saw him, he tried to put on this powerful face of like, I'm cool, I'm good. And that's what I like about that character is he's trying to put up this facade of being this almighty powerful thing, but he's not that. And I get why people don't like that, but to me that's a cool element to a character to have. I don't think he's the true bad guy in all this. I think he's just like I said, a cog in the machine or a stepping stone to something else. But he's
kind of like how Darth Vader was good in the end.
Yes,
sort of thing.
Yep, I think that's going to happen. At least I hope that would happen because I love that character too much to not have that happen.
Yeah, I'm not too sure like what to think about him because they've done the whole gone from bad to good again. Well, they've done the whole good to bad to good throughout the whole 1 to 6 movies. And I just think if they do that again, it's just going to be, like you mentioned before, repeating old times a bit too much. Because you were talking about how this film was quite similar in some aspects to Episode 4.
Story arc is very similar.
Yeah, like person on a desert planet being looked after by someone else and they don't know who the parents are. Gets taken off this planet by somebody, has to go gets information, has to go figure out what it does, has to go find a Jedi,
unwittingly gets dragged into a war.
Yeah, exactly. Although I did like the whole thing where Finn was a First Order soldier, and then he went to the good side. That felt very different. Especially since he's like a black actor as well, like a black character. Yeah. Felt very different.
Oh yeah, and I love the fact that he at the beginning with Finn, like they put the blood, and again I love the humanization of a robotic thing. So to humanize this trooper with having blood on his mask, it kind of made you understand why he's like, I've been trained my life to do what, why, like questioning this. But I'm sure there's people in the military that have the same reaction when they finally see combat and like, why am I doing this? Like, I've been told that this is the right thing, but is it really the right thing? And he's thinking for himself, which I like.
Yeah, I mean, he'd been molded into a fighting machine pretty much. He'd had specific training to go into fights and wars, and even through all those years of training, he still turned around and said, "Screw this, I'm not doing it." Yeah, it felt good. It felt good to see that there was a character like that in this film.
Yeah. So.
All right. Well, we're gonna end this episode here. Stay tuned next week for part 2 of our Star Wars special. And as always, thanks for stopping by, and may the Force be with you.